Kennedy, are you able to talk right now?
Hello, Betty. We can talk if you'd like. I'm just taking a break right now, so I have time. What's going on?
Kennedy, starting this year, did you start to go back to work full-time at all?
Yes, I did. I started in January like we'd been talking about before.
Well, the last time we talked, you told me you'd only be working a few times every month. How are things going now? When did you decide to start working there full-time again like that?
After a little while, I was able to start working more and more there, and now I'm getting plenty of hours. So I told my manager that it would be best to just consider me full-time so that I can get all the benefits that come with the title.
Oh, is that right? But are you still able to keep both the housework and your job well balanced? I know that for a lot of people, a workload like that would be too much for them, and they'd get burnt out easily.
That's a good point. Right now, I've only been working when Riley is at preschool. Once preschool is over, I head back home and make sure to get all the cleaning and cooking done. And so far, that hasn't really been making me any more tired than I was before.
But this whole time you had been a housewife, so having to balance work and chores must be tough on you, right? At least in some aspects?
Well, my husband and I make sure to share some of the work at home to even out the load. And so far, that's been working for us best.
What? You're making my son do chores now, too?
I'm not making him do the chores or anything. He's been coming and helping me out whenever he finds that he has time to. He even said to me already that he kind of enjoys the comfort of cleaning things up at the end of the day.
I'm starting to think it would be better for you not to work a job right now, though. I feel a little bad for my son now because he has to go out and work all day, only to come home and do the chores with you as well.
But the both of us are working full-time for the most part. And neither of us are complaining about how things are going now.
But Kennedy, Riley is only 5 years old right now. There are days where kids will have fevers and colds out of nowhere, right? You wouldn't want that to affect your work schedule or anything when that happens. Your boss might become upset with you if you're always taking time off to be home.
So far, the company I'm with has told me that on days where I need to stay home, I can work remotely and handle both things at once. I like to think this job I have is far more forgiving to mothers than most. I even have the option of taking a week off to work from home if I need to be around a sick child.
I'm sure right now that may seem all good to you. You're able to live off just my son's income though, right?
We are able to, but anything could happen to us at any time. If there were to be something that happened to him, at least I'd still have a job and be pulling in money. Also, being able to work together right now allows us to save a lot more money for the unknown future. We want to have money saved up for Riley as well as ourselves moving forward.
I told you this back when you started to get back to work. I think that while your kid is still young, it's best for you to be around the house taking care of them and the chores. You can work remotely at times, but most of the time you're going into the office, right?
Well, that is true.
What would you do if something were to happen to Riley while you were at the office?
If something happened, of course I'd be putting Riley's needs over anything else.
But there are times where you won't be able to while at work, right? There may be times where you would rather work than leave to take care of your child. Well, I can see right now, though, that you want to work. And no matter what I try and say, you are dead set on that choice.
I'm sorry for not budging. This job is to help us have some emergency funds and things like that in the future. And I've been working for this company for a very long time now, and I love it here. So if I can, I'd love to continue working here a lot longer.
Well, so be it. I understand how you feel about that job now. It must be that my kind of thinking is too old for this new world, right?
No, that's not what I meant by all of that. I can totally understand where you're coming from, Betty. I think it's a very important thing to be around your kid while they're still very young, and I think all moms are aware of that.
You don't have to worry about my feelings, Kennedy. I'd like you just to forget about everything I said, all right?
What? What do you mean?
I understand the truth now, okay? And I realize that it's not right for me to sit here criticizing the life you live. I'm sorry for all the comments about how you handle things at home.
No, you don't have to be sorry for that. I totally understand that you've just been worried about our situation here.
Actually, my son has already gotten upset with me once over the comments I made about the lifestyle you're living there. If I continue to do this to you, then he's going to end up hating me.
I don't think he'd ever hate you. We both understand that you're just trying to look out for us and that you would like for us to hear your opinions is all. Please know that we are all caring for Riley and that we will continue to make Riley number one in this family.
Thank you, Kennedy. Hearing that you understand where I come from really helps me feel better. Now, good luck with both your job and your household chores. I won't say anything else about you working a job, so please relax now. Kennedy, I heard this from my son. In 2 days, you have this very important event for work, right?
That's correct. But I told them I couldn't make it, so don't worry. Riley caught a cold as well, so we've been relaxing with one another at home. I'll stay home until things are better and the cold is gone.
Is that really okay? That's a very important job for you, right?
It is important to me, but that day my husband will be out of town for work as well. I would never be able to leave Riley at home all day while I go to work as well.
But you've been putting in all that hard work there, so isn't it kind of a waste that you don't go? Kennedy, you can leave Riley with me if you want to go to that event.
No, I can't do that. I don't want to trouble you with my family at all.
You wouldn't be troubling me, though. I want to see my grandbaby as well.
But we've decided that I need to prioritize Riley over anything else, including work. Times like this are when I should stay home from work and be there for Riley, right?
So you're still thinking about what I said to you a month ago, right? Well, ever since then, I've been talking to all kinds of people that have worked full-time jobs alongside their husband. They told me that there were always a lot of things going on at home, and that having a balanced work and home was a difficult task. So, I've been thinking it would be a good idea for me to be around more to help you out with the housework. I will watch over Riley, so you can get to that work event in 2 days. Please.
Betty, are you really okay with doing that for me?
Of course I am. I live close enough to you guys that I can be over to your house anytime. So please, let me help you at times like these. But I'm sorry. It's probably because I was against you having a full-time job as well at first, and that made it hard for you to ask for help from me, right?
No. I've also thought that I had to do everything I could to take care of Riley with my own strength is all. Like you were saying, kids can become sick at any moment, and we need to be there for them as mothers. And I don't think I need to hire a babysitter or anything like that just yet for Riley.
Well, a babysitter would be a stranger, right? I'm family, and am far more trustworthy. So please, leave Riley to me.
Thank you so much, Betty. To be honest with you, I was really looking forward to going to this event.
That's what I was thinking. I had heard all about it from my son. When you were asked to go to that event and represent your company, you were so happy about it, right? That's why I thought it would be best for me to text you and let you know that I can take care of Riley for you. I understand that before I was really annoying about not wanting you to work all the time. But now, I think this would be a good chance for me to come and see my grandkid, while also helping out the family.
That is so kind of you to think that.
You don't have to praise me for that. Now, how is Riley doing at the moment? You said it's a cold, but is there a fever as well?
The fever has gone down quite a bit since this morning. And I'm thinking in a few days Riley will be able to eat normal food again.
I see. Then I'll make sure that the two of us just sit back and relax there. We'll just watch some movies and play with some toys, and try not to move around too much.
Is it really okay for me to ask you to handle all of that? You must have had plans of your own before hearing about this, right?
Hey, you don't have to keep asking me if this is all right or not okay. I will take good care of Riley, so just relax. I didn't have any plans before, and I was just going to be sitting around my house anyway. I also have a lot of experience after raising my son, so please, let me take good care of Riley while you're gone.
Well then, thank you very much for this, Betty. I'm going to start preparing some food for dinner now. If you have any other questions about the house or Riley, please let me know. I might not always be able to take any calls, but if you just text me, I'll make sure to get back to you.
Sounds good. And if there's anything else you want to tell me about before you go, or even while you're on that trip, you just text me as well. I plan to do the chores and anything else you need done while you're gone.
You don't have to do all of that. Just make sure that Riley is safe and happy, and that'll be more than enough for us. Once again, thank you for the help, Betty. I'll send you my schedule once I get it from the company, so that you're aware of where I'm at and when I'll be getting home.
Kennedy, there's something I'd like to ask you.
Caroline? Has something happened?
When I met with you yesterday, you had said your daughter was sick, right?
Well, that's right, but today she should be fully recovered from that cold she had. And her fever was even gone, so we assumed that she'd be able to go back to preschool again.
I know that you normally have a neighbor come and take care of things at your house if you're not home. But this time, you've done something really ridiculous. Honestly, I can't even begin to understand why someone like you would do this.
What? What are you talking about?
Stop trying to play dumb here. What are you doing to your daughter? I'm going to call the police right now.
The police? Right now, Riley should be with my mother-in-law at the house, so what's happened to them? I'm not really sure why you'd call the police on them.
She's with your mother-in-law. So you're not even at your house right now?
That's right. Right now, I'm at a work event and won't be home for some time. So my mother-in-law should be taking care of Riley while I'm out of town.
I'm so sorry, Kennedy. I thought that you were around with Riley. Come home immediately, please. Your daughter is on the balcony right now.
What? Riley's on the balcony?
Yes. I was just opening all the windows to my house a second ago, but then I started to hear this really loud crying from your house. I went over to have a look and see if it was Riley, and that's when I saw her up on your balcony screaming her head off. And she's not even wearing any clothing right now.
You're kidding me. What's going on now?
I ran back to my house because I panicked and immediately started to text you. I thought this was your doing, so that's why I was all upset with you. But if you're not going home right now, that would mean your mother-in-law was the one that locked Riley out there.
Caroline, I'm coming home right now. Can you please call the police for me while I come home? Thank you so much for telling me about this.
No, I'm sorry for being angry at you like that. I'm not going to be able to do much for Riley until the police arrive, but I'll try and give her a blanket or something to wrap up in. Please, be careful on your way home. Kennedy, you're so mean. What the hell were you thinking calling the police like that? I had to be taken in for questioning and everything after they placed me under arrest.
Betty, I never thought you'd talk to me again after what you've done. Do you not even feel sorry for what you've done to my daughter?
I just put Riley out there as a way of punishing her. It's her fault for acting out towards me. And I was only going to leave her out on the balcony for 30 minutes as punishment. Why would you have the police call on me for having her out there for only 30 minutes? And you ended up having your neighbors get involved, all right?
Riley is only 5 years old, Betty. Yet you put her out in the cold like that? And weren't the two of you just supposed to be taking things easy while I was away?
It's her fault for not listening to an adult like me. I was being so kind to her, yet she never listened to anything I asked. All that came out of her mouth was sass. That's proof that you're not raising that girl correctly.
No, it is not. Riley is a very kind and cute little girl.
If she was such a kind little girl, then she wouldn't be doing things that got her placed outside the house.
I heard about what had happened from Riley. You were telling her to start telling me to quit my job, weren't you? But she didn't want to say things that she didn't think to me, so she kept saying no to you, right? And that's why you took her while she was naked and forced her onto the balcony as punishment. That's what she told me.
You're believing what a 5-year-old is telling you? She was making the whole dang house a mess while I was there and commanding me to clean it all up for her. Did she tell you about that? That's why she needed to be punished. I will not have you believing the lies she's telling you.
There also happens to be a bruise on her chest. Was that from you, Betty?
What are you talking about now? I don't remember her ever getting a bruise there.
Stop. I already know what happened. I am no longer going to allow you anywhere near my daughter again, and that's final. And my husband has been saying he's cutting ties to you, so don't even bother trying to talk to any one of us anymore.
He's cutting ties to me? What are you saying? You guys are the ones that should be apologizing to me, yet you still think that I'm in the wrong here? I was trying to be supportive of you both working at the same time, and that's why I took time out of my day to go and watch your daughter.
Even if we should be thankful for that, I never asked you to lock my daughter out on the balcony with no clothing on. I don't care if she was misbehaving around you. You do not put a child of any age out on the balcony like that in the freezing cold without any clothes on.
You're only saying that because you spoil the kid, right? I did that to her because she was being bad. I do not have time to be dealing with the police right now, so don't start making such a big deal out of this. The police were all upset with me even. They never thought they would have to take a call and come to such an idiotic case.
From what I was told, the police were trying to explain to you how idiotic you were being by putting a 5-year-old on the balcony like that and not giving a single crap about it. I don't think you completely understand what's happened here, Betty. Do not ever come around my family again.
You hold it right there. There is no reason to be cutting ties to me, right? I am your husband's mother of all people.
Don't ever try calling or texting us again. And right now, in order to stay away from you, we're thinking of moving to a new house.
What about Dad then? Even if you cut ties to me, you're still going to keep in touch with him, right?
We plan to, yes.
Then everything will be all right. I'm sure I'll figure out through him where you guys move to next. I can even go to my son's work to talk with him there as well.
And if you ever do show up to his office, he said he'll call the police on you again and have a restraining order placed on you. Also, your husband is thinking of divorcing you right now, Betty.
Huh? What are you going on about now? There's no way my husband would want to divorce me right now, right?
Right now, your husband isn't at your house, right? That's because he's here with us right now talking to his son about the divorce.
Hold on a second. Why does he think he needs to divorce me?
Because you put his grandchild out onto our balcony all naked in the freezing cold. And I don't think he's going to forgive you for doing something like that to his grandchild.
I've told you already it was me punishing her.
Even if it was punishment, you should still understand that there are things you should never be doing to a child. It's still winter right now. Thank God our neighbor was able to go outside and see that Riley was out there freezing, but had she not, who knows what would have happened to her? Then you would have been in a lot worse trouble with the police and might even be in prison right now.
Well, back when I was raising your husband, that was the way we punished our children.
Well, if that's the case, then your husband should be agreeing with what you did. But right now, he's telling us that you took things way too far there.
I get it already. I'm sorry for being too strict towards your daughter. Can you please tell my husband to rethink divorcing me and forgive what happened?
I would like you to ask that of your husband yourself, Betty. And there's no need apologizing to my daughter anymore. You're never going to be seeing her again, so she doesn't need anything from you.
I'm telling you that I want to apologize to her, though.
Well, you've done something that's unforgivable, so an apology will only be wasting all of our time. I can't even forgive you after that because I thought I could really trust you with my daughter. I'm not sure what's going to end up happening between you and your husband, but my family will be cutting all ties with you and will never see you again.
I'm so sorry, Kennedy.
So you really weren't okay with me working a full-time job as well, then? You were so against it that you'd try and wrap my child up in your plan to get me to quit?
You have it all wrong there. I really put her out on the balcony like that because she was being selfish. That's all. Believe me, please.
Shut up already, you asshole. We already know the truth, and you're not going to be able to change it. I am never going to trust you again, so just frickin' stop. Honestly, I was an idiot for trusting you in the first place. Because after just one time of me letting you take care of Riley for me, things turned out so badly that I'm afraid of you now. I will never ask anything from you again, nor will I ever talk to you again. There will never be another day where I trust you with anything. Right after that, my family and I moved to a new house and found a new place a town over that seemed to suit us well. Next year, Riley will be going to kindergarten and everything, and this area happens to have a really good school system that will really suit her. Now, let's get to talking about what happened with my in-laws after that very upsetting incident. I have to admit, it was a bit disappointing that my mother-in-law wasn't actually put in jail for her actions. But she was written up by the police and would now be getting contacted by them regularly to make sure she wasn't causing any other trouble. Also, after we had moved, my father-in-law went and got divorced from my mother-in-law. And after that, she was completely quiet about everything as my father-in-law moved out of that house. Apparently, once she realized the divorce wasn't just some lie from me and that her husband was very serious and even brought a lawyer along, there was nothing else she could do but sit and agree to the conditions. She got to keep the house and all of that, along with some of her husband's money, but she was never allowed to come and see my family again. Nor was she allowed to go anywhere near my husband's office. That was a part of the legal agreements in the divorce, and if she broke either one of those rules, she would be taken to court and have to pay my father-in-law and my family a large fine. My husband and I were told about these rules by my father-in-law, and we both think this is the right step to be taking with her. The rest of the family has also been made aware of what's happened and the rules that have been made, so we're pretty sure she won't be causing any more problems for us. Both my husband and his father have no plans of ever forgiving her for everything she's done, and I'm going to leave that choice up to them in the future, in case they ever want to give her another chance. Of course, my father-in-law didn't move too far away from my mother-in-law, and told us he's keeping a close eye on her and will let us know if she's up to anything outside her house. We've told him, though, that if he ever does want to just forget about her and leave, he's more than welcome to move into our house with us, and we'll take good care of him. But he said he still feels responsible for her and will continue to watch her until one of them isn't around anymore, as a way of protecting both his son and I and his granddaughter. We are never going to forget what she had done to our little girl, and there's probably never going to be a day where she's able to see us in person again. We are actually hoping that because of this outcome, she'll regret everything she's done for the rest of her life and will continue to leave us alone. When things come to my job, I've started to settle down a little again, in order to be home with my daughter, as I'm not trusting anyone else to watch her inside my home. I just want to be with my daughter for a while, until all the wounds she received from my mother-in-law have healed. Had my husband and I never allowed her around the family in the first place, though, something like this would have never happened. I still do want to leave the house and work full-time again at times, but I'm going to wait until my daughter is older and can take care of herself more. I will make sure that she's ready for anything before I leave her home alone or with any strangers. So once my daughter is healed up and happy again, my husband and I will begin raising her to be an even more kind and independent girl, so that we know she'll be all right while we're out of the house. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.